Welcome to Instant Replay for MLS Match Day 2. I'm your host, Andrew Wiebe, and as always, we're taking a closer look at the most controversial refereeing decisions in Major League Soccer. We start with a pair of serious foul play shouts in the Real Salt Lake Seattle Sounders game. The first came in the 55th minute. Diego Luna is pressing, he's harrying, he's trying to win the ball back, he's tackling Nuhu, and Nuhu's yelling, going down, and holding on to that foot. Now, as you watch this challenge again, you can see this doesn't look great. Luna is high, those studs look pretty exposed to me, and there is a little bit of contact on Nuhu, but how much? Is it excessive force? Does it endanger Nuhu's safety? For me, I come down more on the side of a reckless tackle and a yellow card, and not excessive force and a serious foul play red. That was the call on the field from referee Ricardo Fierro, and I agree. Now, a play that's just a little bit more complicated and very, very orange. Second half stoppage time. Foster Ajago of RSL is closing down Christian Roldan, and look, we can all see what happens here. Ajago goes pretty high, he's got studs exposed, catches a little bit of the knee, and rakes down. Roldan goes down, holding his leg, he is in distress, and you can understand why. The call on the field from Fierro is a yellow card for a reckless tackle. There is no review initiated by VAR Jose Carlos Rivero. Now, I gotta tell you, I am torn here. We just talked about it on the Luna play. Number one, is there excessive force? You could argue that, though it's not a certainty. But number two, is Roldan's safety endangered? Those are studs to the knee. For me, just because of the lack of force, I don't see push through or impact on that knee, I'm okay with the yellow card. But had it been called red on the field, I don't think there's any way Jose Carlos Rivero could have recommended a review for a clear and obvious error. This one's gonna divide folks, orange card indeed. To Minnesota Montreal, big shout out to Daryl and William Peterson, who watched the show, loved the show, and recommended this play. They're Loons fans, and they say, whoa, 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 Kelvin Yeboah got mugged. This is clearly a penalty, and I can understand their perspective. It looks like a penalty on Petrasso. The Montreal defender might have hip-checked over the Minnesota attacker, and that's the way it was called on the field by referee Sergej Demichuk. Only VAR Michael Radchuk recommended review, and this penalty was taken off. No foul in the end. And I gotta say, I agree with the decision of the VAR to recommend review and the referee to take the penalty off the board. I'm sorry, Daryl and William. Watch very, very closely here. Petrasso, before there is contact on Yeboah, actually gets a little piece of the ball. Look here, that little bit of contact pushes the ball away from Yeboah. And I would also argue that I even see the challenge more as a 50-50, shoulder to shoulder, without Petrasso extending an arm or pushing, than a true foul. So given that, the contact on the ball, so given those factors, primarily the contact on the ball from the defender, I agree with the referees. This is not a penalty. And I'm not sure what to think in this New England-Columbus game. Columbus up 1-0, 88th minute. Carlos Heel taking a free kick, and whoop, oh boy, Dylan Chambost, it looks like you handled the ball. Watch closely, Chambost raises that arm, gets it basically above his head and outstretched, and the ball bounces away, but Chambost is insistent despite the fact that Filip Dujic, the referee, calls for a penalty. He says, this hits me in the ribs, just below the armpit. Edwin Jurvasevic, the VAR, recommends review for a clear and obvious error, says, indeed, that did not hit the arm of the defender. Dujic reviews and takes the penalty off the board. The Crew win this game. And I am 95% sure that this ball does not hit the arm of Chambost. But there is that 5% that I just can't quite reckon with. And that is because the angles that we have just aren't good enough, in my opinion, for this to be clear and obvious. So while I think this is almost certainly the right call, I struggle a little bit with the fact that those broadcast angles just don't jump out to me. Here's another big call that had 2 points riding on it. 79th minute, Dallas, Colorado. It's a 3-3 game. Absolute chaos, and Logan Farrington is in behind. He's finishing beautifully, but Corey Rockwell, the assistant referee, raises his flag. Offside, no goal. Now, this is a very difficult call. Look down that line. At the top part of your screen, you see Reggie Cannon, who is actually the final defender for the Rapids. But Cannon is obstructed by an FC Dallas player. In the end, however, if you see this particular angle, it seems very clear to me that this play is onside. In my opinion, Dallas have a right to feel aggrieved. Let's go to Kansas City, 24th minute. Here comes a shot from Sporting Kansas City, and watch out. Ian Harkes gets his arm out away from the body. He makes himself bigger and it hits him in the arm. You can see right here on this angle. Watch that arm ricochet backwards from the impact of the ball. Now, that looks like a penalty, and Sergej Boyko, the referee, calls it as such. He points to the spot, and Dejan Joveljic steps up and finishes it. But hold on here. Let's just rewind. Go all the way back to the Manu Garcia free kick and look down the line as the free kick is taken. In this instance, Dejan Joveljic is offside. He plays the ball, attempts to keep it near the end line, and San Jose have a clearance, but they do not control the ball, which Kansas City recovers and plays and plays and plays until the shot that causes the handball. So, my spidey sense says that's still APP, attacking phase of play. It's a difficult one to spot. You really got to hit that rewind button, but I would have liked to see VAR Jorge Gonzalez go back and recommend a review. To me, this is clearly and obviously offside in the attacking phase of play that leads to the handball, and therefore the penalty should have been taken off the board for an offside offense. Let's go to Vancouver and take a closer look at potential serious foul play. Start of the second half of this game between Vancouver and the LA Galaxy. Ball's a little bit loose in the midfield, and Vancouver's Eddie Ocampo goes into a tough challenge with Sanabria of the Galaxy. Like, this is real tough. Drew Fisher, the referee, allows play to continue, and things happen fast, I get it. But I would have loved Eunice Marcaci, the VAR, to recommend a review for serious foul play, because to me, there is excessive force here, as well as endangering the safety of Sanabria. I think Ocampo is playing the ball-ish, but he's lunging with his studs exposed, and even though he gets a little piece of the ball, he follows through with excessive force, in my opinion, above the ankle of Sanabria. Just look at that impact. To me, it checks both boxes, excessive force and endangering the safety, and I would have liked to see this one be a red card. Well, how about some Sunday Night Soccer drama? Let's go all the way to second half stoppage time, and things are getting a little bit chippy. Why? Just take a look here. Sebastian Kowalczyk gets embarrassed a little bit by Jordi Alba, and he's falling forward, he's grabbing, and oh, he's stomping, and it looks like he catches Jordi Alba's foot. Now, play on, says referee Joe Dickerson, but Benha Kremoski, Alba's Miami teammate, says, hold on, I am not going to allow things to continue, and he comes in and clears out Kowalczyk, getting a deserved yellow card. Now, if you fast forward a little bit, Jordi Alba gets his payback on Kowalczyk as well and gets a yellow card, but we've got to take a closer look at whether Kowalczyk really saw justice in this series of plays. Because as I watch that stamp on the foot of Alba and I see clear contact there, the force and the fact that it's off the ball makes me think, ooh, could this be violent conduct? At the very, very least, it is a yellow card. And I think it would have been a credible review by VAR Daniel Radford to recommend that Joe Dickerson go to the monitor and look at this for violent conduct and a red card. To me, this is excessive force when not challenging for the ball, and that would make it violent conduct on Kowalczyk. Now, there was a red card in this game, or shall I say, after the final whistle. Watch this dust-up between Ian Frey, Inter Miami defender, and Ethan Bartlow, Houston Dynamo defender. Bartlow's grabbing, they're pushing, they're talking, they're yelling, and Ian Frey, to get away, or maybe to get a little payback, I'm not in his mind, reaches up and gets non-negligible contact on Bartlow's neck, right in front of Dickerson. While I don't think this is intentional, I don't think Frey is trying to strike the neck of Bartlow, non-negligible contact to the neck is going to be a red card for violent conduct every time, especially when you do it in front of the referee. All right, that's it for us from match day 2. Remember, if you see something, say something. Use the hashtag InstantReplay, drop in my DMs. And as always, please, please, please include a minute. It is so helpful. Big thanks to my editor, Aldo Medina, and my producer, Rich Hernandez. I'm Andrew Wiebe. We'll see you next time.